This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so let's start our today's session for the OPSAB app. In last class, we have seen about the multi-level inheritance, okay, like how it's working. So generally for the multi-level inheritance, we have seen that we have to redefine the method if we have any method, right? This is what we have seen. So we have taken one vehicle here, this JCL vehicle, we can declare this one as a abstract class. This we will see why we can declare this as abstract class. The reason behind for this to declare as abstract class is that there is no meaning of vehicle. Simply if we are going to tell vehicle, the meaning of vehicle is abstract. Similarly, if you are going to tell JCL animal, there is no meaning of animal. Okay, this can be any animal, so there is no specific meaning. The such kind of meaning is known as abstract. So such kind of class we can declare as a abstract class, because we don't know all the functionality, all the specific functionality of a particular a car, like how which model this is, like which color this is, from which company this is, how much speed this is. So such kind of requirement which is not specific to a particular class, in that case we can declare such kind of class as a abstract class. Okay, so in interview you can get such kind of question like in which scenario we can declare a abstract class. So abstract class we can declare whenever we don't know any specific functionality. In that case, whenever we are not sure about any certain functionality, in that case we can define as a you know I'm getting one call. I think they are not able to connect. Just a second. Okay, so can uh, define we can declare abstract class. Okay, I would like one question over here. So here suppose we are having a JCL vehicle class. Okay, and in this class we are having a method called suppose. uh, Let us suppose the method name is run. Okay, this is a method in this class. Again we are having the method suppose get color, or such kind of method we are there in the JCL vehicle. Okay, now this JCL vehicle has been inherited by the class called JCL car. Okay, so I'm going to create one more class. Please mute from your side. Okay, so we are going to give this JCL car. So when we are going to inherit this JCL vehicle, this run method will also be there, right? And get underscore color method, this method will be also there, right? But at this point of time, I have not redefined this method. This is as it is. This is as it is. It is not, it is not redefined. So whenever we inherit any method, it will only work when you redefine it. Otherwise there is there is no meaning of the method. It will be a kind of empty method. Okay, you must have to redefine in order to implement the method in the subclass or in the inherited class, right? So this is the child class we are having, and this is the parent class we are having. This child class is inheriting this JCL vehicle, and run get color, both the method has been inherited. But at this point of time, get underscore color and run both has not been, you know, implemented, not been redefined. One extra method it is having, let's suppose it is having one extra color, for example set color. Okay, it is having one extra method, and this method we have redefined. Let us suppose this method is redefined method. So whichever is redefined, or there is no meaning of redefinition over here, because this set underscore color is not over here. What I mean to tell, this method is implemented inside this class zcl underscore car. Whenever I tell this method is implemented, that means this method had been defined in this class and activated. There may be no code in that, that is also possible. Okay, so now ZCL car is is being inherited with another class. Let's suppose that class name is some another class, maybe ZCL, different car we can have. So ZCL, instead of taking the model, maybe we can take a hatchback, okay, or sedan. Such kind of car we are having, ZCL car, and ZCL in sedan category we are having this car. Okay, so it's almost similar to the previous example, only here instead of ZCL Suzuki I have taken ZCL underscore sedan. Here also, because I'm inheriting this ZCL car, what will happen that this run, get color, set color, all these three method will come and sit inside this. Okay, will come and sit inside this particular, you know, ZCL underscore sedan. Here, initially this set underscore color will be also undefined. Okay, here set underscore color will also be undefined. Okay, so I'm marking this as a undefined. Okay, but suppose this get underscore color in this ZCL underscore sedan, get underscore color, or maybe run, I have defined it over here in this particular, in this run method I have defined. So what I will do over here, that I will put into this color. Okay, here I have redefined, that means I have implemented this method. Okay, now my question to you is that, suppose I'm going to write a program. Okay, I'm going to write a program, z report, some report I'm going to write, and here I'm creating the object for this ZCL underscore sedan. So what I will do, that I will create the object. So obj equals to new, new operator we are going to use it in order to create the object for sedan. Okay, so like that we create, right? And when I'm going to call this object of, uh, run method of this object, in that case I have a simple question over here. For example, if I'm going to call this run object, and inside this run object, okay, here I have written a code. For example, for this run I have written a code over here. In this code, it is there super and run, right? Super and run will be there in this code. As we know that automatically this particular code will be generated, because run is coming from this particular subclass, right? So when I'm going to, when the control will come at this particular point, when the control will come super run at this particular point, can you tell me which method will be executed? This method will be executed run immediately, or this method will be executed immediately? Which method will be immediately executed? This is the question to you.
Card class method will be executed first, sir.
ZCL underscore car, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so your assumption is correct, but answer is not correct. Why? See, this run method is not implemented over here. This is not, redefined method. If it is defined, then the immediate method will be called. Super is nothing but it will pointing to the immediate implemented method. It will point to the immediate implemented method of the class. So here actually in this JCL underscore vehicle, this run method has been implemented. So though you are going to write here super, we understand that it will call the immediate super class. It will try and go and check the immediate super class, obviously internally, but it will not be able to see the control to go and execute, because here there is no code, right? So what it will do, that it will go and run this run. So whichever the immediate implementation will be there, that is going to be executed. Is it clear for everyone what I'm trying to tell it over here? Okay, here it is not redefined. You can see that I have put in the blue color, just it is there. It has been inherited from JCL underscore vehicle, but it has not been redefined. Let me show you. I'm going to yeah, go and create one class over here. Earlier system is not working. I'm having one previous system where we have in the last class created some class. That system is not working, so I have one another system here. I'm trying to create one more class. Let's quickly create and I will show you. Okay, in last class also it was happening the same, but I don't know that you observe these particular things or not. You know, vehicle, we are having this you can mark as abstract if you want. Okay, I'm just marking this as a public, but better to mark is abstract. Let me mark this as abstract, but this is not the correct time to discuss about the abstract. There will be some confusion. We will first understand how to use the abstract and what's the meaning of abstract, then we'll go and see. Okay, finally you'll have to remove, because I'm going to inherit this class. If you mark this as a final, you will not be inherit this one. Final means finals, final means final, that means you will not be able to inherit. So I have removed that one. Click on this local object, and what method I have given, run and get color. I'm going to give the run, and here the label you can give. Just for this method I'm going to give the instance method, and the visibility we can give this one as a protected. That is fine. So protected we can select, and we can give some description over here. Then get color we have written, then instance, then we can, this one also we can give the protected. Okay, well I'm giving at least protected or private we can give it over here, because I'm going to inherit in the subclass, and we know that if it is protected, then we can use this class in our subclass. Okay, subclass, if you are going to mark it as a private, you will not be able to inherit in subclass also. Okay, that's why I'm using at least protected, or if you are marking it a public, there is no problem. Okay, so run and get color. Just I'm going to write some piece of code over here, or just I'm going to define this method. See, definition means if we're going to simply give the run and get color, it will give you, if you check the syntax, it will tell that it will show you some error. Okay, here there is no error, however there is no error, but if you double click over here, only definition is there. What I mean to tell that only definition is there for this method. What we have created over here, this is only definition. I want to create here implementation. So automatically this method run and end method, this particular syntax has been generated. Even if we're not going to write anything, if this method run and end method is there, that means implementation we have created. If there is no implementation, if there is no implementation, and if you check the syntax, it will tell that for that particular method there is no implementation. Okay, I'm just going to save it, and I will check the syntax now over here. It should give me a error. You can see that implementation missing for this method run. Okay, so I'm double clicking over here once again, and I will paste this method run and end method. The syntax should be there in order to create an implementation. Okay, just save it. And now So this much code at least should be there. So I'm just going to write it over here, that write, format, or maybe what I will do, that in beginning I will write that format color 3 or something like that, and then I will start writing over here. I will write that this is a run method of which class, ZCL underscore a vehicle class. Okay, just simply I will write this ZCL underscore a vehicle, the very first, the very first class, very first class, very first class. Okay, now just save it and copy this code. I will write some code over there also. Even you don't write the code, there is no problem, but just I want to write so that when I will execute this, we will be able to understand what's going on. Here I'm going to write this format color 4, and here you can give the new color. Okay, if you want, you can give over here format color of. Okay, or else if you don't give also, there is fine, there is fine. If you are going to create a new color 4, 5 or 6, automatically the previous color will be off. Okay, so if you don't give this one also, there is no problem. But if there is no beginning of new color, it will not be automatically off. So better let's give over here format color off. Save it, just go back, pretty printer, just go back, save it, and what I will do, that I will activate this one. You can see that there are so many, CINC, 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 CPRI. This is just for the technical purpose. All this object is there for the technical purpose. This is for the source code. This is for the source code. Here, if you go in SE38 and if you put this one, you will be able to see the source code over there. Yeah. Okay. So this is for the different objects gets generated when you click on the activate button. It has been activated now. Now what I want to tell it over here, that let's go and create one subclass SE24 slash n SE24. Remember the class name which we have created, ZCL underscore vehicle. I'm going to create over here car. Okay, ZCL car. Have we created already? Let me see if we have created. Gets it. No, this is some other person has created. What I will do, that I will give ZCL EB actually I'm supposed to use, and from 24th we have started this one. So ZCL I think 22. So ZCL EB underscore car, click on this create button and class, that's fine. Save. Final, again I'll have to remove. I will keep this final over here and I will show you when I'm going to inherit this car to the ZCL sedan, there it will give me the error. Okay, car class. Instance generation public, let's keep it this a public local object, and under the properties you'll have to go to the super class and you'll have to give the ZCL underscore what we have created, ZCL underscore a vehicle we have created. Press enter, just save it, and now this is, once you click on this method, you will be able to see that this is in blue color. That means it has not been implemented at this point of time. Okay, this method has not been implemented. For implementing this method, what you will have to do, you will have to redefine. Okay, you must have to redefine this method using this option. Save it. I'm not going to define any of this, and I'll just show you. And now I'm going to create the ZCL sedan. Okay, click on this create button and click on this OK. Here we'll give some meaningful description, and final, this is the final class, so we can keep it final. Okay, click on this save local object, So Sedan I'm not going to inherit anymore, so I can keep it finer. And here if you come over here and if you give under the super class that particular ZCL underscore car, what it will do, if now we check the syntax, what it will do, will it give the error or not? ZCL underscore car we have marked is as a what, final. If you remember, mark this one as a final. I'm trying to inherit it over here, ZCL underscore car. No, we have removed. Okay, it has been removed. If it is there as a final, if it is there, if you mark this one as a final, you will not be able to inherit this one. Just go back and here mark this ZCL underscore card, just save it and
But
check this one. Sorry.
Pankaj, you are giving a superclass as a another name. Just underscore EB underscore 24 something class, and
Oh,
it's
yes,
different.
yes. Right. Yes. Yeah, because there I remember that I have marked there as a final. Yes. Yeah, this was, yes, you are right. Thank you. So this was the here, and if you see that here under the properties we have marked this as a final just to show that it will give you the error. Thanks. So here this is the sedan, and here if you come, and I'm going to give that particular under this properties, I'm going to give so undo inheritance, I'm going to undo it, and I will again put it over there, click on the superclass, paste it and press enter, and you can see that this class is finally, it cannot have subclass. Okay, it cannot have subclass. So if you mark any class as a final, you will not be able to mark that class as a you cannot inherit that class. You cannot inherit that class. So go to AC24 and you'll have to remove that final option. Okay, control V, go into the change mode and remove that final from there and activate it, save it and activate it. Now come over here and press enter, and this time there is, okay, the buffer memory has not been refreshed. Just I'm going to undo the inheritance. Okay, change the inheritance, click on this change and remove this one. Actually, just save it, go back, go into change mode, and here once again I will give this superclass. Okay, give this value over here and press enter. It cannot have subclass. Okay, let me check. I have defined this final, check the syntax, activate this one. It is activated now. Just go back. Okay, press enter. This sometimes it happens due to the memory refreshment or such kind of issue, it happens, so nothing to worry. Just save it and go back.
Pankaj, you did not remove the sedan class, the DBL underscore class. Car class, you are not removing the final.
Now here I'm using that one. This sedan car is fine. Under the super class I'm putting this one now, the ZCLEB 22 car, and this I am marked as a what, this I have marked as a, it is not final. That means we will be able to, something I'm doing wrong. Let me check once again. Put it over here, display, get run, that's fine. Here final is not there. Copy this, paste it over here, control V, but this error is coming repeatedly. Let me do one thing. I will have to come out from the session and I will give and I will have to do once again. Going to log in once again, and this time there should not be any problem. So such kind of issue happens when memory does not get refreshed. So let me put the password, press enter, go to SC24 once again, SC24, and this is the class which we are creating, sedan. Okay, this one. Go into the change mode, and here under the properties, click on the superclass and give this one, press enter, and this time there should not be any problem. It's taking some time, and you can see that there is now at this point of time it is not giving any error. Now come to this method. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on the save button so that the previous the previous one will come over here. And now I'm going to define this run. Okay, click on this redefinition button, and here now what we'll do, that we will redefine it. Okay, so and this I will uncomment, and now here, now what I'm going to do, that here again, format color on, format color, maybe I'll give this time 6, and I will write it. I will write that this is the redefined method. This is redefined method from class ZCL underscore sedan. Okay, okay, so this is what we have given. Put it into the next line, and here format color off. Okay, now let's go and or without creating, without uh, writing the program also, you can test it. There is no necessity always that you have to go and write the program. If you want to test it directly, you can test it from here also. That is possible. I'm just trying to
Pankaj,
activate it.
sorry for the interruption. Can you please show me how to redefine it again? I mean, how do you did redefinition for that run method?
Yeah, I will show you. Go to SC24 and go into the change mode. What you will have to do, that you have to come into the change mode, and you can see that color has been changed. You have to put the cursor over here on the method for which you want to redefine. Put the cursor over there and click on this particular button. Okay, this particular button you will have to click. You will be able to redefine. If you want to redefine this gate and this color, you can just do like that. I'm putting the cursor over here, click on this redefine button, and once you will click, automatically super hyphen gate color will be called, and below to that you will be given option to write the code. Here you can come and write the code. Okay,
Hello.
yeah, yes.
Yeah, I have a question.
Mhm.
If we redefine the method in the subclass, will the
Mhm.
definition in the that we did in the superclass is ignored, or it will be there along with the definition that we did now?
No, that will be there. That will be there. Now it depends on how you want to call them, how you want to use them. The previous definition will be there. It will
Okay.
not be gone. In the previous class, the definition will be there, but now it depends on you, that which definition you want to use, which class you want to use. Okay,
Okay. So my
it
question
will
is, from the
hmm,
vehicle, from the car class, definition will be ignored. Means it will be there or not?
it
Means
will
the
be there.
functionality will be there.
In car class
Okay.
this will be there, but in car class, if you remember, that I have not activated, means I have not redefined that particular uh
Yes.
let me show you. Here it's giving some error. It's asking me to write some code. Let me check the syntax first. Even that is not necessary to write the code. Just to go back and save it, check the syntax now. there is no error. Activate this one, and here it is fine. Siddhan, that's okay. Click on this activate. It got activated. Yeah, so what actually I'm trying to tell it over here, that if you come over here, Siddhan, okay, and here we have not written the code. Come to this get color. Okay, at both the places we have not written any piece of code, so let's go and write some code over here. Let me do one thing. Let me check. This is the Sedan, that's fine. Where we have written that write statement, we have written somewhere, right? I think that has been gone. We are
Before
not able
saving, it
to see.
was closed. Before saving, it is
Yes, yeah,
closed.
it lost. Yes. So double click over here and let's go and write the code once again, because it has been lost. So I'll quickly write the code. Now I will give some format color 6 and write a statement, a new line, and this is the run method from class ZCL Sedan. Okay, full stop, and then format color of PT printer. Now just save it, check the syntax and activate it. Okay, now if you double click on this super, just double click on this super and observe over here where it is coming. It's just coming over here, though this run method is not defined over here, right? This run method we have not defined here. There is no meaning of run here. There is no meaning of run. If you once again go to the super class of this car, the very first class ZCL underscore vehicle, and here if you come into this method, for this run class we have written this one, right? We have written this run. So what actually I'm trying to tell it over here, though the reference will be there as a super class, means just the just the parent class, but if your method is not activated, in the car class, this run is not activated over here. This has not been redefined. So what it will do, that it will go to the ZCL vehicle class, what we have, uh, it will go to the very first class. Okay, so to show that, here also, from here also you can just check it. You can try to run and you can check it. Activate this one once again. It has been activated. And run this one. Okay, so here you can see that interface, attribute, interfaces, attributes and methods, nothing is coming. Why? This class interfaces, nothing is coming, attributes, nothing is coming, methods, nothing is coming, right? Though we have given two methods, right? Attributes also is no attributes, that's fine. If there is no attributes, that's fine. Interfaces, nothing is there, so nothing is coming for this path. But for methods, there are two methods we have over there. Okay, one method, both the method we have implemented. If you remember, both the method I have implemented over here, right? We have just written here, we have written some piece of code, and this simply we have activated. But still, why it is not coming over here? This method is not coming over here. Any guess? Any answer from you?
Object not created for the class.
Object not created for the class. Good. Any other guess over here?
Its super class is not implemented yet.
No. And the first answer is correct, that object has not been created for this one. Object has not been created for this one. That's why it's it's not giving anything. Means that particular, if you see this method, what is this method? This method is protected and instance method, right? This method is protected and instance method. Okay, so because this is the instance method, we are not able to see, right? Because here this is just the class name you are able to get, and with the class name you will be able to access only the static attribute and static method. With the class name you will be only able to access the static attribute and static method, and because the method we are having is the what here is the instance method, that's why we are not able to get. Okay, that's why we are not able to get. Here you can create the object, but for creating the object you can create the object only inside the class for this, because this method is the protected method, because this method is the protected method, you know it's not giving the option to create the instance also. So what I will do, that I will make this one as a public, go into the change mode, and I will okay, but the thing is that the problem is that this we cannot change it over here, because this is the inherited one, you know inherited one. Definition we cannot change. You cannot change the signature, you cannot change the definition, this is not possible. Okay, so because that is not it, one more method, maybe call method, or we will create one instance method with a public attribute, and with a public visibility we can create some static method or instance method. Okay, so one helping method, just I'm going to create one helping method, helping method. I'm going to create it helping method, or just to call this call method, maybe just for calling purpose I'm going to create this method. Okay, here we can use the instance or static anything fine, but I have to show instance method I'm just going to use, and public hello hello
Yes,
Hello.
yes.
are you able to hear me? Yeah, are you able to hear
Yeah,
me?
we can hear you.
Or voice is breaking?
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Now
Okay,
it's
in between voice is breaking.
yeah, sir. In this time.
Yeah, your voice is breaking sometime.
Yes, right. Okay, some internet issue, some network issue is there due to a heavy rain over here. Okay, fine. So I'm going to once again to the sedan class and call method, and then I will give this as an instance, and here I'll give you just a public, because you must have to use the public so that you will be able to call this method, and in this method I'm going to call this both the method. Okay, so on this call method and just one test method I'm going to create. Okay, test method, and this I will give the static, and here this also I'll give the public, and I will just show you that how it's going to behave. Okay, inside this call method, run and get color we are having, right? So inside this call method you can call this run, so you can use this me variable. Okay, and you can use this run, and this run you can use, or directly you can use the run also. Okay, directly you can use the run, or directly you can use a get color. It's not necessary to give the me, but if you want you can give. Okay, Check the syntax over here. It's fine. Activate it over here. For both the method I'm calling, the two different ways you can call. Click on this edit button, see what's the error it's telling, and we'll try to rectify what's the error it is having. Implementation missing for the test method. Okay, fine. In the test method we have not written anything. So what I will do, that I will just double click and write the method and end method. Double click over here. So what it will, that test method and end method is fine. Just save it, go back. This much is sufficient. Okay, and save it and check the syntax. Now there should not be any error. Activate this one, activate, and now it has been activated. Now just observe over here, this test method is the static method. Okay, this test method is the static method. Just to remember that it's a static and public method, I'm going to name this method as a, st underscore pub. Okay, and this method I'm going to write ins underscore pub. Okay, press enter. It will tell that to change, rename. I want to just rename both the method. Just I have renamed it. Save it, activate it, activate it. Now run this one. Okay, this time you will see that here, this time you can see that one method is coming over here. What? Test st public. St means static and public. Here static and public method you will be able to see. Why? Because I mark this as public. If you are going to mark this as protected, it will not come in that case also over here. Only the public will come outside of the class. When I'm running this one, one program is running actually this class. You can understand like that. Okay, so for this class you can directly access the static method using the class. That's why this static is coming over here. Here you can see that now an option is coming, instance. Okay, why earlier it was not coming? Because earlier you have the instance method you have, but the visibility was protected. That's why it was not coming. Now you have an instance method over here and its visibility is public. That's why that option is now coming. Okay, so when you create the instance of this particular class, what will happen, that one object will be created, and when an object will be created, you know that a static method can be, a static method, you can see that a static public, a static method can be accessed from the object as well. This is an object. When I click on the create object, create instance, this is the object. One object has been created for this particular class. With reference to particular class, one object has been created, and with the help of object you can access the static method as well as instance method. That's why both is coming, both option is coming over here. Now if you remember that for this instance public method, call instance public method, in this I have called that both the classes, protected one. No protected method is coming anytime, anywhere, right? Protected you cannot access outside of the class, only you can use in the inherited class. Remember this concept. These are the basic concept. If you know this much, you will be able to survive at least. Okay, so these are the basic concept. Run this one and you can see that after running this one, this is the output it's giving. This is run method of JCL vehicle. Very first class is getting called, and this is the run method from class JCL sedan, and second time this is coming. Once again, just go back. Okay, run this one, click on this instance, because I have to run this, I want to execute this one. Okay, I want to run this one in debugging mode. So what I will do, that I will click on this instance, click on this instance, and I will just run this one.
Hello.
Sorry guys, it's getting frequently disconnected. Run this one from here directly. Click on this instance once again, and now I'm going to activate once again, and then I'm going to run this one. Okay, ABAP debugger is starting, and it will stop to that method. Okay, so it's calling some system program. That's fine. Press F6, 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 or I'm going to press F7, 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 F7. Okay, it's not getting stopped. Actually, what I will have to do, I'll have to put the breakpoint over there. That will be the easiest way. Click on this display button, and let's go and put the breakpoint over there. That is the easiest one. Okay, press F8 and click on this instance, run this one. Okay, now actually if you click on this F5 over here, it will directly go to the car class. It will not go to the it will directly go to the vehicle class, because in car we have not implemented this run method. Okay, so press F5 and you can see that directly okay, call method super run. That's fine, because that method run was there, right? That's method run, the same class method run, and here with the help of super run we are calling, so it will directly go to the very first class, the vehicle class. You can see that vehicle class, it is coming over here. And so this is how actually it works. So if you know the concept, it's easy, right? And then after format color 6, it's writing over here, going again for the gate color. If you see for the gate color, nothing is there. Okay, so and now press F8 and it has come like this. So hope you understood what I'm trying to tell it over here, that the very first implementation, wherever it is defined, it will directly go over there with the help of super keyword access. Okay, now maybe I will add this point over here with the help of super okay, with the help of super keyword, very first implementation of the very first implementation of the method is called, okay, very first implementation, okay. If super is there, it does not mean that, if super is there, it does not mean that, here in this run, if the super is there, it does not mean that it will go and execute this run. It will go, but it will not run, because this method is not implemented. It will go here and it will run. If it is implemented, then it will come over here, execute, and it will come back. Okay, it will come back, it will go and execute and come back. But in this run also, suppose if you are using the super method, okay, let me close this one. I will show you what actually I'm trying to tell it, that if you go to the car class, double click over here, go into the change mode, okay, go to these methods and let me redefine it. And here, so if we are having the super, then it will go to the upper class and it will call from there. Okay, so format I'll give some color, 4 5 something like that. Right over here slash, this is the method run from class ZCL. What? This is the car class. Okay, so full stop over here and then pretty printer, save it, and we can format color of, activate it. Okay, here you can see that it's a formatting was not executed because it is switched off in the settings. If you want, you can change the setting for the indentation because it's not looking good. So what you can do, that utilities, go to settings, and here you will be having one option of a pretty printer. Okay, so editor, source code editor, that is fine. Go to this pretty printer. Indent also I'm going to select keyword uppercase, generally I keep, you can keep as per your wish. Okay, now if you click on this pretty printer, it will be formatted. Okay, so save it and activate it. It is now activated. Okay, so I'll put the breakpoint over here also. Just go back, and now I'm going to run it, and this time you just observe the behavior. Okay, just run it, click on this instance, and here I'm going to run this. Because I put the breakpoint, it has stopped over here. Me run means run method of the same class will be executed. Me means the same object. Okay, if you check the me, the same class. Okay, same class, it will tell you the same class, we know already this. Okay, super. Now just super is what? Now the just super is car, because it has been implemented. This point of car has been implemented, right? That's why it is coming over here. Again, if you want to go upper, you can use this. Okay, so it will just call the immediate implementation of this vehicle, and it is going to write it, and then it will come back. Okay, so you can see that this top of page during line selection, this event is getting triggered whenever the first write statement gets triggered. Whenever the first write statement is executed, then the top of page event gets triggered. Okay, press F7, F6, F6, and here the format color. Right, format color off, and it will come to this here, super run here in the last class sedan. This is the last class it has come, and once again F6, and get color, we have not written anything, right? So it will just come out from there. Get color, press F6, and it will come out. Press effect. Okay, you can see that the what happens, that in sequence it got called because of the super ZCL vehicle, and here ZCL car and ZCL sedan. This has been called. So this is also, you can test from here also, no need of going and writing the program over there. Okay, fine. So this is one part. Another, we have a concept called constructor. Okay, we have a concept called constructor, but before that, let me show you what is the abstract class. Okay, the concept of abstract class, and then we will go for the constructor. Okay, abstract class. So generally, if you don't know about anything, generally if you don't have idea, for example, here we are having the ZCL underscore vehicle. So in such scenario, we create this ZCL vehicle or ZCL underscore animals. Okay, such kind of abstract meaning, ZCL underscore living organism, something like that, which you are not concrete, you don't have the specific information, you have the abstract information. Okay, for that part, you can ZCL over Okay, there can be many kind of ore, iron ore, something different kind, calcium or different. So if you don't have any specific information, in that case you can use the abstract class. So to create the abstract class, some important point about abstract class is that, okay, whoever is from the object oriented background, you might be knowing already about this, that abstract class cannot be instantiated. Abstract class can't be instantiated. Okay, why it cannot be instantiated? Actually it's a mechanism, the system program, this abstract class code has been written in such a way that it cannot be instantiated, and this is logical also. What we will do by instantiating this ZCL vehicle? What will you do if we're going to mark this as abstract class? Generally there is no use of, even if we're going to instantiate this one, what kind of information you are going to get. There is no meaning of abstract information, right? Because there is no meaning of abstract information, why to instantiate it, right? Why to instantiate it? Similarly, the case happens with the interface also. Okay, similarly the case happens with the interface also. Okay, we'll talk about the interface, but here abstract class cannot be instantiated. Interface also, if you talk about the interface, we will talk separately about the interface, but I will just tell you that so that you will be able to remember for the longer time. Okay, you'll be able to compare. Here I'm just going to interface. I'm going to write interface also. You cannot instantiate. This can also be not instantiated. Okay, abstract class can't be instantiated, both cannot be instantiated. Okay, both is having the capability that it cannot be instantiated. Okay, abstract class, we understood that in this scenario we are going to use the abstract class. In what scenario we are going to use the interface? The interface, you know that as its name suggests, suppose you have a car. Okay, suppose you have a car, and in car you have an interface. What you have a steering, you have uh, some buttons, some light on light off button, such kind of nice interface is given over here. Some Apple Android music system kind of Apple Android uh, system will be there, where with the help of which we can navigate, and all those things is there, right? Gear and all. Now in the automatic system we are having only the three reverse, forward and backward, right? Forward and neutral. So three option we are having. So such kind of such kind of interface you are given. The why, the reason behind that, implementation has been hidden from you. The complexity of implementation has been hidden from us. How in background it's going to work, we don't know, right? Just we know that how we have to use. Same case happens with the interface. Okay, same case happens with the interface. Interface is generally designed. So whenever the oops come into the picture, design is the very important, uh, you know design plays a very important role. We should be good, to design any object. We should be good to design any, suppose we have given some requirement, so that requirement we are supposed to formulate, that requirement we are supposed to design in such a way that, so that we should be able to use the abstract class properly. In such cases we should be able to, for example, this car, the car is having many methods, right? All the vehicles, right? All the vehicles are, let's suppose a scenario where you are having a car vehicle, a truck vehicle, right? So what is the common functionality in that? So all the common functionality a vehicle is there, it's going to have in both the car and vehicle, right? So there ZCL underscore vehicle we can define as an abstract class, right? Interface we can use For the method purpose, we can use the interface, and this interface we can use in all the classes where the same method we are going to use. That we will see. Just I'm going to simply write the difference. Just I'm going to compare, and then again we will talk this interface with the help of an example in detail. Okay, so here this notes, under this notes we are able to see that abstract class cannot be instantiated. The second point what you will have to remember over here, that in the abstract class at least one method should be empty. At least one method must be empty. What is the meaning of must be empty? At least one method must be empty. The meaning of, uh, you better to write at least one method must be abstract. Abstract means you cannot implement this one. If a method is abstract, that means you will not be able to implement this one. So this is two important point. Okay, third important point regarding this abstract class is that this abstract class you can inherit. So whatever the abstract method you are having over there, okay, whatever the abstract method is there in this abstract class, that method you must have to implement in the subclass. Otherwise that subclass is also going to be your abstract class. Okay, what I mean to say that, let me copy this. Okay, so what I mean to say that, suppose, okay, let me take this example itself, and here this ZCL underscore vehicle is going to be your abstract class. Let's suppose this is your abstract class. This is better to define this as abstract class. Now because this is abstract class, at least one method should be abstract. That's the definition of abstract class. If you have abstract class, at least one method must be, at least one method must be abstract. So let's suppose this get underscore color method is abstract method. So what I mean to tell that, if this is the abstract method, okay, if this is the abstract method, then in this case, then if this is the abstract method, this get underscore color is the abstract method. Here in ZCL underscore car, this method must be defined. This method actually must be defined and implemented. This get underscore color method must be defined and implemented, this method over here in this ZCL underscore car. Because if you don't define and implement this one, what will happen that this class also you must have to mark as abstract class. Because this method, if you're not going to this method, if you're not going to, I'm talking about this get underscore color method, if you're not going to define it, it will inherit the property from the parent class. And in parent, what is this? In parent, this is the abstract method, and because this is abstract method over here, this will also become abstract. And if any of the method is abstract in a class, that class will be known as the abstract class. So this will become your abstract class. Okay, same it will happen in the subsequent classes. Same concept is applicable in the subsequent classes as well. Let's go and do that. ZCL underscore vehicle, click on this change button and come to this properties. Okay, and here you will be having an option to make a class as abstract class. If you click on this select from here and click on the save button, and if you check the syntax, it will give you the error. Okay, it's telling that at this point of time there is no error. Go to this method and I will show you at least one of the method must be abstract. So let me check if automatically it has taken some method as a abstract method or something like that. So put the cursor over there and click on this button. Okay, once you click on this button, the protected an instance, that's fine. There is here you can see that abstract, actually abstract should be checked. Okay, click over here. I'm going to I did wrong thing. I click on the copy button. I'm going to deny it. Okay, here and click on this detail view. So here also it's not checked, but there is no syntax error. It's telling, let me try to activate. It should not activate, but it's got activated. How it is possible? It is not possible. At least one method must be, must be abstract. Then only this class will be abstract. Let me go again and check detail view. It is not abstract. Okay, go here. This is also not abstract. It's strange for me. It should not happen actually, but it's not giving any error. I don't know why. Instance generation abstract. Okay.
Is that anything to do with that visibility?
Visibility protected. The visibility is protected. Okay, let
You have
me
defined
check that.
the method.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, you have defined the method get color and run, both implemented it means. So is that the case?
Both is implemented.
Yeah.
Yeah, both is implemented. That's why I'm telling that it should not means this is not the valid scenario. Let me check with the public. Yeah, for the public also it's not giving the error. Let me do one thing. I'm going to create another class ZCL ABS from the scratch, because it must be at least one method must be empty, means must be abstract. ZCL abstract vehicle. So in the existing class I'm trying to do that one. Maybe that may be a problem here. Abstract class, abstract class, remove this final, this abstract, at this point of time just I'm going to keep public. Click on this save button. I will show you other way around, and let me see if it is working or not, or it's having some problem. Okay, so I'm giving some method. Let us suppose method 1, and here I'm giving some method 2. Label, we can give some instance, that's fine. The visibility public and public, that's okay. Description, some test. Okay, now the property, this is the public. Under this method, what I'm going to do, that I'm going to mark this detail here as abstract. One method I'm going to mark. So it's telling that implementation of method 1 is deleted. That's fine, because if something I'm going to mark as abstract, obviously it will be deleted. So method 1 implementation has been deleted. Okay, and if you try to create the implementation, it will not allow, because this method has been abstract. For the abstract method, you will not be able to create the implementation. Okay, and here also you can see that one message is coming, GHCL ABS vehicle set to abstract. So automatically whenever a method is going to be set as abstract, that class will be also set as the abstract class. You can see that yeah, here I don't know, it's behaving differently. It's there it is telling that it has been set as abstract. Okay, let me do one thing. I'm going to click on the save button, and you can see that at this point of time automatically it has been converted to the abstract, right? Automatically it has been converted. I have not converted. Why it has been so? Because the method here you can see the method I have, one of the method I have marked as a abstract method, right? So automatically the system, the system program checks that for a method, if one of the method is marked as a abstract, this class must be abstract. If you give as a public, if you give as a public, it will not consider as a public. It will give you the error. Check the syntax, and here it is giving abstract method can only be defined in the abstract class, right? Now what I'm going to do, that I'm going to mark this abstract. Now check the syntax over here. Okay, go to this method, and I'm going to remove that one, that this abstract I'm going to remove. Click on this change button, and let's create one implementation. Okay, so in active new, I'll have to create the method 1 and end method. Okay, save it. So implementation we have created, and there what we have chosen, that here I have choose the abstract. Let me check the syntax over here. Here it's not giving any error. So here in the abap, I don't know. Yeah, here it's working. So if your instance generation is abstract, here in the method you can see that I'm not giving this one, this abstract we are not using over here. But in Java and all, the concept of the abstract is what, here also it should be the same, but I don't know. Here I need to explore this part more. Maybe as per my understanding, what it should happen, that if this class is going to be abstract only when at least one of the method is abstract. Here none of the method, when I marked none of the method as abstract, you can see nothing is abstract, nothing is abstract. In that case also it's allowing me. Okay, in that case also it's allowing me. Okay, so it's a it's an instance generation. Okay, it's an instance generation. Fine, no problem, this I will check. But here on the other way around, we have seen that if one of the method we are marking is abstract, automatically this properties is going to be set as the abstract property for this class. Okay, so if one of the method, but just remember this definition is the correct one. It's a 100%, at least one method must be abstract if a class is abstract. Okay, if when we'll go to the local class, there I will try to show you. Okay, here it's I think because this is for the instance generation, maybe this is not related with this, that this is the abstract class. It's not going to tell that this is actually the abstract class, but the meaning of abstract class is that at least one of the method must be abstract. Yes, at least one of the method must be abstract. This is related with the instance generation. Okay, so no problem. Let me do one thing. /OSC24 and ZCL vehicle 1 I'm going to create. Click on this create button. Okay, here also we are having this option for the instance generation only. There is no separate button for the abstract class. In the local class we'll try to explore that part. Okay, fine. Now this method, I'm going to create one method as an abstract method as per the standard concept that at least one of the method must be the implementation of method 2 will be deleted. Yes, delete, there is no issue. Change it and save it. Activate it. It got activated. Now this ZCL abstract vehicle I'm going to use in another class. For example, the class we can use the ZCL abstract car. Click on this create button, and here car class. Okay, and this instance generation I'm going to mark it public, as usual. That's fine. Click on the save button, local object, and here under this properties I'm going to give in the super class that abstract class. There is no meaning of abstract class. There is no meaning of abstract class without because you cannot instantiate it. So if you're not going to inherit the abstract class, there is no meaning of that abstract class. There is no use of that abstract class. So you must have to inherit in some another class, in some subclass. Okay. So here ZCL underscore ABS underscore vehicle, you can see that it's I'm giving as a super class over here. And now if you come to this method, click on the save button, automatically though both the method will come over here. And now this method too, you can see that this is the abstract method. This is the abstract method. This method must be implemented. This abstract method must be implemented, or else this class will also be converted into what? In the abstract class. The instance will be set as abstract. Okay. So if you go and check it, just check it, you can see that the redefinition of the method is missing, or the class was not defined as abstract. You must define the class as abstract. So what it is telling, either you implement this method, either you redefine this method, or else what you do that, come over here and click on this abstract and set it. Check the syntax. You can see that now the error is gone. But if you want to but if this is the abstract, you will not be able to instantiate it. I will just show you. Click on this activate button, abstract class. You will not be able to here the instance generation is the abstract. That means you will not be able to instantiate it. Run it and it will tell that that ZCL is abstract and cannot be instantiated. That's why there is no instantiation is coming over here. Not instantiation. There it cannot be instantiated. Abstract class cannot be instantiated, right? That's what it is telling. So instance generation is not possible for this abstract class. You will not be able to create the object for the abstract class. Okay. Now if you have any question at this point of time, please let me know. Okay. Now I'm going to mark it public. Believe that you don't have any question. I'm going to mark it public. In that case, what you will have to do that for this method, you will have to come and you have to redefine the method too. Then only it will not give you the error, or else it will give you the error. Okay. So write it. This is the abstract, and this is the defined abstract method in subclass. Okay, save it and activate it. So now you will be able to instantiate this class. Okay, now you will be able to instantiate. You can see that color has been changed into the black. Now press F8, and here you can see that this class has been instantiated. Okay, but because this visibility is public and the instance is public over here, right? For this class, just to activate once again over here, run it. Okay, fine. So method 1 and method 2, you can see that method 1 and method 2, here that class has been instantiated and an instantiate object is coming over here. This is the object. Okay, this is the object, and this object is having two methods. Okay, this object is having two methods. So automatically the instantiated one is coming over here because it is inheriting the abstract class, right? Whatever it is inheriting over here, it is having the abstract class. That's why when we are running directly this class abstract, this car class, when we are running directly, it is instantiated one is coming over here. The instantiation is getting called. Okay. Any question over here? Are you able to understand the concept, what we are trying to discuss over here? Any doubt or anything? If you want to discuss, please feel free to discuss. Okay, fine. Now let's go and try to understand about the constructor. Okay, what is the constructor? Constructor is a very important concept in the project also, like in the day-to-day project. You will come across a many scenario where you might have to use the constructor. You will come across where you have to use, or in the standard implementation of the SAP, you will be able to see in many places about the constructor. Constructor is of two types. One is the instance constructor and another is the class constructor. Constructor is of two types. One is the instance constructor and another is the class constructor. Instance constructor okay, is also known as the object constructor, and this class constructor, you know, is this class constructor is also known as, you know, maybe I can write here as an instance constructor and a static constructor. Okay, this instance constructor is known as the object constructor and the static constructor is known as the class constructor. So there are two types of constructor. What is this constructor? So if you observe its name, you know, if you observe its name, the name is telling that constructor. Constructor means one who is helping to construct, one who is going to help while constructing. What construction it is talking about? It's talking about when you are going to construct an object, right? When you are going to construct an object, at that point of time, suppose if you want to set a particular state of an object, okay, suppose if you want to set a particular state of an object, in that case this is going to be helpful. This is going to be helpful in that case. Okay, in that case it's going to be helpful. For example, suppose you have a report. Okay, you have a report, and in this report you use the initialization event. If you use the initialization event, for what purpose? Use the initialization event to initialize the global variable, right? To initialize some specific variables, to initialize some a specific attribute, right? So only one time you are going to initialize it. Initialization event is going to get called only one time, right? It's going to get called only one time. Now to set the attribute, to set the value, you are going to use what? Initialization event in the report. In the class, for an object, when you are going to create any object, okay, when you are going to create any object, first let me define this. This constructor, to set the state of an object, we use this constructor, or some people also define it, you know, to initialize the variable of the object. Okay, to initialize the variable of the object or class, we are going to use this constructor. So any one of the definition you can use it. Okay, here when you are going to create any object, when you are going to create any object. For example, you are going to create an object, you have a class. So obviously your class should be, either, so in a report you are going to use a class. So because you are going to use a class in a report, so that class must be public, right? So I'm going to give one ZCL public class. Okay, and for this public class you are going to create one instance. For this public class you are going to create one instance. Instance is nothing but object. Okay, instance of a class is known as object. So for example, obj1 is your first object which you want to create for this class. So what will happen that when you are going to create the first object for this class, so how we create, so we can use the new syntax, right? We can use the new syntax, or we can use the old syntax and we can create. So we know that how to use the old syntax. First we'll create the reference, then we'll use the create object keyword, and this is the new syntax which I'm just using it over here. Okay, so when the first time we are going to create this object, automatically this constructor will get called. Okay, the constructor will get called. Now this constructor is known as a special method. So the third point, what you can here, you can just write it. This is a special method. This is a special method to set the state of an, and also you can write that this is a special method to initialize the variable of the class. Why it is called the special method? The reason behind that, you don't explicitly call this constructor. When you are going to create the object of the class, automatically this constructor will get called. Now what kind of constructor will be called? It depends which kind of constructor. What either it can be called this instance constructor or a static constructor, or both the constructor will be called. Okay, the possibility is either this instance constructor only will be called, or a static constructor will be called, or both the constructor will be called. Okay, but which constructor will be called first, and then what is the next constructor will be called, that we will see here. Okay, so what I'm trying to tell it over here, that object one is new new ZCL underscore pub underscore class one app created over here. Let me create this class and I will show you in practical mode. Create this one class, click on this create button, and constructor example, okay, click on this save button, local object, and give, when you will have to define a constructor, you'll have to write simply like this. And your constructor method, this is a special method, you can see that this is a special method. This constructor method is a special method. Automatically this tool has been generated. Now there are so many important points in this constructor. The visibility of constructor cannot be the lesser than the visibility of this class. What is the visibility of this class? If you see here, visibility of this class is the public, right? The visibility, the instance generation of this class is public. That means if this method is constructor over here, this constructor method also have minimum visibility is a public. Why? What is the logic behind this? Logic behind this is that /o AC38, just go and we'll create one program z eb22 demo one, something like that. Click on this create button and constructor. Okay, executable program, click on the save button, local object. So what the definition we understood from the constructor, that when we are going to create any object, automatically that constructor will be called. Okay, so first I will show you that how it's going to get called. I will not write any code or something like that. First we'll see the concept and then we'll try to initialize some variable. Okay, double click on this constructor and put the breakpoint over here. Hard code this breakpoint, activate it, activate this one, just go back, and here you can see that I'm going to create now one object using the new syntax. So data obj1 equals to, this is the name of the class. This class you can give, just before this you write this new, and that's it. Okay, full stop. One space should be there in between this bracket. Check the syntax over here. Here some error is, it's telling some error because this class is ZCL pub underscore class, ZCL pub underscore class. This is fine, is unknown, it's not able to identify. Let me activate once again. It is now activated. Let's check the syntax. Okay, let me do one thing. This is the public, go to the properties. Here also it's public, right? Here also it's public. Then why it's not allowing it over here? Okay, type ZCL public class is unknown. Has been changed. Click on this yes button. It's coming over here. This is also public, this is also instance. That's okay. Properties, constructor example public, final, this is fine. What is the problem? Let me do one thing, because I'm not passing any constructor value or something like that. That may be the problem. What I will do, that I will try with the old syntax and let us see how it's happening. obj1 type ref to give this class reference and create object obj1 f2, and here there is no error. Okay, here there is no error, but here why it's giving the error? We have to give like this, right? One space should be also there. Yeah, this time it's not giving any error. I don't know why earlier it was giving the error. It happens sometimes. So here the old syntax is also working fine, new syntax is also working fine. Okay, first I will show you with the help of new syntax. When you will creating the instance, automatically your debugger will come and stop it over here. Okay, under this constructor it will come and stop it over here. Okay, so what I will do, that I will just run it. Okay, or maybe I will put the breakpoint over here. I will put the breakpoint over here and I will just run it. Press F8. Now it's going to create the instance, and I'm going to press F6. You can see that breakpoint has hit. This constructor, the special method, has implicitly called. We have not called. While creating the instance, this constructor has been called. This is known as the instance constructor. So instance constructor will be called, okay, instance constructor will be called when you are going to create a new object. Whenever you are going to create a new object, every time it will be create, means that instance constructor will be generated, called. Instance constructor will be called. For example, if I'm going to create object 2, here also, so whenever you are going to create an instance, at that point of time instance constructor is going to be what is going to be called automatically. So if you want to set some specific value, if you want to set some specific property, you can use for that purpose. Okay, I'm going to press F5. You can see that automatically it has come to the breakpoint. Press F6 and now it will come to this. Again it will go and hit this one because the second object has been now generated. So whenever object is going to be created, at that point of time this instance constructor is going to be hit, is going to be called. Now the class constructor. Okay, the class constructor. What is this class constructor? Class constructor, whenever you are going to access the class, whenever you are going to access the class, very first time, remember this, remember this statement, very first time. You must have to remember this statement. Okay, whenever you are going to access the class very first time in this report, in a particular report, it is not like that, in second report, third report, also in a lifetime of a report, you are creating a report. Okay, you are creating one report, and in that report, the very first time your class is going to be accessed, only that particular point of time your class constructor will be called. Okay, so only one time, and first the class constructor will be called, then then the instance constructor will be called. Okay, come over here and I will show you how to define the class constructor. It's simple. Simply you will have to write the class and then underscore and then constructor. Okay, press enter, and this is how class constructor, a spelling mistake. Okay, constructor, press enter. Okay, constructor and constructor must be created explicitly. Yes, that's fine, that's okay, and automatically this private is coming, that's okay. Constructor, and a spelling mistake is there. Let me write once again, class underscore constructor. Okay, this time is fine. Press enter, and it's telling that constructor and destructors must be created explicitly. Okay, no problem. Double click over here, we'll talk about the destructor. Okay, and class underscore constructor is coming over here. Now here also we'll give the breakpoint. Save it, check the syntax, activate this one, activate, just go back and activate this class also, and now come over here, come to this report. Now try running once again and let's observe the behavior. Okay, run this, press F8 and press F6, and here constructor is first getting called, right? And press F6 once again. Okay, why it's not calling the class constructor? Actually the very first time it should call something. I'm doing the mistake either in the spelling or something this problem. Actually underscore should not be there. Okay, underscore should not be there. Constructor, or some spelling mistake it's happening. Constructor, new name, yes, class constructor. Okay, I'm going to give this as a public, it must be there, class constructor. Okay, and then save it, check it and activate once again. I will see, this time it should be called. Okay, this time it should be called. Activate this one and run once again. So before the instance, before the instance constructor, the class constructor should be called actually. Okay, before the instance constructor. This time also it's not calling. Something I'm doing the mistake, that's why it's not working. Some spelling mistake or something it's happening.
Yeah, Pankaj, at least we need to call one static components. Then only it will trigger class constructors.
No,
Like
it is not required. It is not required for to like a static component is fine. Whenever we are going to call the static component, at that time also it will be called. But when you are going to create the instance, see, the thing is that whenever the first time you are going to access your class by any means, whether it is with the help of a static attribute or with the help of uh, with the help of a static attribute or with the help of directly if we're going to create the instance, it should work actually. It should work. Some spelling mistake or something is happening wrong. Constructor and destructors must be created explicitly. Okay,
you can change that instance method. You can declare a static method, class constructor, static method.
yes, you are right. This class constructor must be the static method over here. Okay, must be the this should be the class constructor, should be the static method. Okay, this class constructor should be the static method. I'm just going to use this one, and I think we'll have to give the underscore. Let me check. No constructors, and that's fine. Save it, check the syntax, and let me activate this one. Okay, come over here and press F8 and let us see. No, this time also it's not working. Something I'm missing. Okay, I will check this one, but one thing is certain, means one thing is sure, that that the very first time it should be called. Some spelling mistake or something I'm missing over here, that's why I will just check it. I will share with you in the next class. As of now, just let's understand that whenever the very first time, this part we have seen that for the instance constructor, whenever we are going to create the object of any class, the very first time it will be called this instance constructor, and the static constructor will be called only for the first time. Static constructor is going to be called only for the first time, right? In a report session, when you are going to execute this program session, the very first time it will not go hit and hit every time. The very first time it will be accessed, very first time it will be called, not every time. If once here it has been called, it will not be called over here. And it can be any means. If we're going to if we're going to access the class, for example, suppose in this class we are having the class constructor defined. Some spelling mistake, I think it's happening over there. Okay, so I'll just check that one, or maybe let me check one example. SC24 CL exit handler, and there CL exit handler is the class. Click on display, get instance. Here we don't have any constructor method. Okay, /n CLGUI custom control. Okay, CLGUI custom control, ALV grid maybe, or container. Okay, these are the events. Yeah, here only the constructor is there. I'm looking for a class constructor. Let me check one container. Here also we are having constructor. Okay, no issue. I will check that one. Okay. So what actually I'm trying to tell it over here, that if this class is having a class constructor, and if this class is also having the static attribute, and if you want to access the static attribute very first time, then that class constructor will be called. And once that class constructor will be called, it will not come over, it will not be called over here. Okay, so only one time in a lifetime that class constructor will be called. On the other hand, the instance constructor will be called every time whenever you are going to create the instance. Okay, with this, let's stop our session over here. I'm having to open query, only one or two, one open, right? This is for the class constructor. I will check this one, this open point, to show the a demo for class constructor. Yeah, and one more place where we were facing the problem for the abstract class. Okay, for the abstract class, when we were giving the abstract without defining any method as an abstract, it was considering that actually it should not take that one. Abstract class must not be there without at least a single method, at least a single one. This I will check. Okay, if you have any query over here, please feel free to ask, or we'll stop our session over here. We'll meet on uh, next Saturday. Now onwards, Saturday and Sunday will be having regular classes. Okay, any question?
Yeah, a small question. We can
Yes,
define it
Suraj.
protected also. Yeah,
So,
can we define the constructor as public only?
see,
Should we define the constructor as public only, or
constructor we cannot always define as a, it will, most of the time will require to define as a public only, because in that case only you will be able to, here you can see that I have created one report. So in this report, because that method will be automatically called, and if that method is not a public, it is something like protected or private, you will not be able to use in this class, in this report actually. So if you want to use in a report, you must have to define that as a public. But the thing is that you will be able to define that constructor like protected or private also. It depends on, how your class is. It all depends on how you want to define your class. For example, here, let's go to s/nsc24 over here, and come over here. We are having that class, which class we have defined over here for the constructor. CLXGit handler public class. Okay, this one we have created, the last one where we have created this constructor over here. And now if you suppose, if we're going to mark this as a what, if we're going to mark this as a protected, it will give the error at this point of time, because there is no meaning of giving the protected over here. Okay, if you check the syntax, it should give the error. Yeah, you can see that it's giving the error. Visibility of the constructor must not be more specialized than the visibility of the instance creation. Okay, here the create edition, if you see here, it's a public. If it is public, then you can use in this report, the report which I have just created there, you are going to use. But when you are going to create the object, automatically it will be calling the constructor of that particular class, because it's going to call the constructor. That constructor must be public, then only in the report we will be able to call.
if we
Because in
define
the
the class
report,
as if we
sorry,
define the class as if we define the class as protected, then can we define it as protected constructor?
right, yes, then you can define. If you can check the syntax now, it should not give any error, you can see, but you will not be able to use over here. Okay, Here you will not be able to use. If you just activate it, it will get activated, but here in the report it will give you the error. If you check the syntax over here, check the syntax, here you can see that this class is unknown. It's telling this class is unknown. Why? Because this class is now has been protected, and this class you can use only in the inherited class, only in the subclass. Okay, there only it can be used, nowhere else. Nowhere else
Okay,
it
thank
can be. Okay,
you.
fine.
Thank
Then
you.
with this, let's stop our session over here, and we'll meet on from next Saturday, Sunday onwards regularly. On the same time, I'll be sharing the new meeting ID because this week it's going to be expired. So in the same group, I'm going to share. Bye bye. Good night.
Hey, Pankaj, this is quick
Yeah.
question, man. What is the
Yes. Yes.
difference between a constructor and a non-constructor? It's still a
Non-constructor.
method. Yeah.
Non-const. Where is the non-constructor?
No, I mean, what is a constructor? Basically, it's another method, correct?
Yeah, it's a special method. When you are going to create an instance of the class, at that time automatically it will be called. Okay.
Okay. So that is the first method that gets called, correct?
Yes, yeah, this is the
Okay.
first method which is going to be called automatically. But in case if you have a class constructor, I think here I'm missing some spelling or something I'm missing over here. If it is a
Okay.
class constructor, what will happen that it will first call the class constructor, then it will call the constructor automatically.
Okay.
You don't have to write any code. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
whenever
So
yeah whenever yeah
yeah, it's
yeah
like on in an ABAP program on top of or something like that, right? In a regular program,
uh,
so or initialization,
right, yes, initialization is
something like
going
that.
to get called only one time, right,
Correct,
yes,
correct. So similarly, constructor is going to get called only one time, first time,
right, yeah,
correct?
class constructor will be called only one time, but the
Mm.
object
Object.
constructor, yeah, this one is known as the object constructor, this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the class constructor will be, it will be having class underscore constructor, like this
Okay,
class constructor. So
okay.
class constructor will be called only once in a lifetime. Suppose this is a report. In this report, I'm going to create the instance of this class. So
Mm-hmm.
when first time my class is going to get accessed, very first time, it can be any means, it can be by any way, it can be accessed, whether with the help of some static. Suppose I have an attribute over here, some static attribute I have defined over here, for example, uh, name, and here the label we can mark it some label, something like maybe a static attribute, and the visibility I can mark it public. So if it is like this, public associated type, maybe car 20,
Mm-hmm.
press enter.
Mm-hmm.
Suppose this name is an attribute and this is a static attribute, and here if you come and if you try to access this one, this is static attribute, how we can access? With the help of class name, right? We know that to access a static attribute we are going to use the name of the class. This is also one way how we can access the static attribute. With the help of class name also we can access the static attribute or a static method. Okay, so suppose if you
Okay.
want to access, yeah, suppose if you want to access this static attribute, suppose if you want to find out the name, so I'm just going to use the new syntax, gv underscore name and equals to this full stop. So it, at this point of time, the very first time you are going to access this static class, then what will happen that this class will be, very first time is going to get called, and then this class method, this class constructor is also going to be called. Okay, this class constructor. So very first time it will be, because you are going to access this class in the sequence of the flow. If you see the flow sequence, the very first time we are going to access this class. So here, if once this class is going to access, then class constructor will be called very first time. And then here, if you create the instance, it will not get called this class constructor now, only this constructor will be called. Means once the class constructor is gets called, second time it will not get called. Now only once it will be called in a lifetime. Getting my point? Are you able to understand, Om Prakash?
Yeah. I'm sorry, I muted myself. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. So this program, let us assume you run it one time and I run it parallelly. So it
Mhm.
will get executed for you once and it will get executed for me once. Correct.
For both of us. No, for both of us, because your program is there in the separate session. My program is
Session.
there in
Correct.
my, yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, in both the session it will be executed separately, means there is
Separately.
no depend, yeah, it's
Not even.
for you
Okay.
also will be executed and for me also, but in your session only once it will be executed, and in my session only once it will be executed.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
fine then. Thanks.
Yep.
Bye bye.
Thanks, man.
Good
No
night.
problem. Bye bye.
Thanks.
Bye bye.